I'm Dana Denha, and you're watching FYI. Ann Arbor Park staff are looking for environmentally safe ways to control overgrowth at widely used parks throughout the area. Step back in time as they use an old-fashioned method of brush control. Gallup Park has gone to the goats as they work overtime clearing invasive plant species from 2 park islands.
Goatscaping is using goats to clear areas that are overgrown with invasive species and prep the area for the owners to be able to use it in a way that they would like to have it used. They have areas that they wanted to try and get cleared. They don't want to use chemicals if they don't have to. Especially being right by the water, you don't want to have sprays and stuff like that. So it was a good match for what they needed done.
10 goats worked around the clock, clearing honeysuckle, buckthorn, and even poison ivy.
Don't have to go anywhere with them. They're comfortable in this setting here, and they'll bed down when they're ready to take a rest, and that's all they need. People are becoming more aware of the using of the chemicals and stuff, that they're trying to get away from that. And I think a lot of things are going back to the older ways of doing business, you know.
For more on goatscaping and the other offerings at Twin Willow Ranch, email twinwillowranch@hotmail.com or call 734-439-8170. Stay tuned, and we'll be back shortly with more news and information. The University of Michigan Museum of Art, or UMMA, is changing with the times, and upon entering Alumni Memorial Hall, you'll be transported through time and areas of the world that seem familiar and unknown. As art evolves, so do museums, and UMMA has made leaps towards creating a fresh museum experience.
We're calling it Collection Ensemble because it's really a result of digging into our collection, looking into the breadth of what we have. As the apse kind of unfolds in these 9 different spaces between the columns, they serve as stages or bays, and the collection of art inside of each one of them are almost like characters on a stage. It's a performative installation.
Even the wall color affects the sensory perception of the work.
Once we painted them black, immediately you began to see some of the architectural features of this beautiful hall more crisply. And we decided we would do what is called a call and response to the themes coming out of the Candida Hoffer photograph. So each of the installations between the columns, the bays, or what we're calling the stages, is responding to this photograph. Along the left side, it's responding to the conceptual ideas of the Catholic Church that's represented in the photograph. And along the right side of the installation, we're responding to the architectural features of the cathedral. So I'm hoping that the experience is one that may be repeated again and again. Each time you come, if you come alone or if you come with family or friends, you'll see different things and you can experience this as a very rich and vibrant installation.
For more info or to plan your next trip, visit umma.umich.edu. There's no better way to celebrate America's independence than watching bright lights bursting in the air. But before you put on your own fireworks display, there's some pertinent safety information. Learn about fireworks safety and laws in this month's City Roundup in 60.
Hi there, Mike Kennedy, Fire Chief, Ann Arbor Fire Department, here to talk about fireworks safety for the upcoming holiday. Fireworks in the city of Ann Arbor can only be shot off on July 3rd, 4th, and 5th between 8 a.m. and midnight on those 3 days. Fireworks are not allowed to be displayed on city parks, on city right-of-way, or city streets. And you have to have permission from any property owner that you're going to set them off at. You are responsible for any damage or fires that's caused by fireworks, and we always recommend that the safest fireworks are those that you go and see by a professional display at a safe distance. The July 4th holiday is the #1 day of the year for ER visits, and a lot of that is attributable to fireworks. So we hope everyone has a happy and safe July 4th holiday. If you're going to see fireworks, please go to a professional display. Thank you.
The future's so bright, I gotta wear shades, as masterpieces on 4 wheels take over the downtown during the Rolling Sculpture Car Show. Joining me is Ben Colman, chair of the Rolling Sculpture Car Show Committee. Mike O'Rear, editor of the newsletter for the local Porsche Club, and the owner of Rosie right here behind us, and Tim Pott, master mechanic at Automotive Techniques. Welcome back to the show, guys, and welcome to the show, Mike.
Thank you.
So let's talk about, well, I guess we should talk to you, Mike, about Rosie a little bit. How did she get here today? How did you obtain Rosie?
Rosie was the car I lusted after when I graduated from high school back in 1963. She's a 1964 Porsche. 50 years later, I finally could afford her, and so I couldn't help but buy her. We've had her now for maybe 10 years, and she's a lovely driver, and every year we try to get her in the rolling sculpture.
Nice. Did you have to fix her up at all, or she looked like this when you got her?
We had to redo the interior. She looked the same on the outside, but the interior was a little ragged. So.
You mentioned you could finally afford her 50 years later. Do Porsches get any cheaper as they get older, or
No,
depends on the model that you're getting?
It's the reverse. They get more and more expensive.
Okay, so you'd be better off driving off the lot with a brand new one for your pocketbook.
I'm not sure about that. They do depreciate a little bit at the beginning, but
yeah.
The classics like this and early 911s are now worth several multiples of what they were when they were brand new.
What sort of kept you attracted to these older models as opposed to maybe going with something from like the 80s or 90s?
Well, I've had those too.
Okay, okay.
But I think that the 356s kind of established the essential styling of all Porsches, even up to this day. And it's been amazing how the company has taken this classic look and kept it looking modern, but you can always tell a Porsche by the general outline. And I don't think many car companies can say that.
No, I completely agree. I feel like some car companies, they get it right and then they mess it up, and then they try to go back, but it's not quite right still. So yeah, I would completely agree with you on that. But this year, Tim, because you're a Porsche guy, there's a special thing going on with Porsches at the Rolling Sculpture.
Yes, there is. Mike and I are both very active in the local Porsche Club of America's region. It's called the Rally Sport region, based in Ann Arbor. And every year the car show has a featured marque. And this year we decided Porsche would be that marque. So we reached out to our membership, and we have about 30 people responded, and they'll be in a group in front of the Federal Building on Liberty Street, displaying a wide variety.
Yeah, so you'll see the Porsche throughout the years.
You will see Porsches from as earlier than this beautiful 356 behind us, up to very contemporary sort of supercar Porsches that are being built today.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you guys actually were talking about the newsletter that you're the editor of. Can you tell me a little bit about this newsletter? Because this is a local thing that people that probably would go to the Rolling Sculpture might be interested in.
Well, we have about 315 or so members that are a member of our particular region. There's another region in Detroit, there's one in Lansing, but we have about 315 members. We do a variety of activities. We're fairly track oriented, so many of our folks, we rent racetracks and take cars up to those racetracks. We also do social events, at least one every month during the spring and summer. And those usually are ride and drives to some location for a dinner or an event. So it's a social. It's about the people as much as it is about the cars.
Sounds like a good time, though.
We have a wonderful time.
Yes.
So Ben, this is actually an anniversary year for the Rolling Sculpture Car Show, right?
It is. It's a 25th anniversary. We've got things pretty well in place. Got a good show set up for this year, and I'm especially pleased to have Porsche be the mark for this year's show. I'm fond of Porsches myself. I think it's a nice addition to the show, and as Mike was saying, Porsches, they're iconic. The body style, and I think it is unique. And it's one of the things about the show. Given that the cars that come to the show, they're varied and unique. A lot of American cars, a lot of world cars today, they're cookie cutters. They all look the same. Rolling Sculpture, you're going to see the range of cars. Porsches, Jags, you're going to see unique automobiles that are individual rather than just being another daily driver.
Well, and you mentioned about the Porsches. I don't think, you see some on the road, but I think like some of those ones you're going to see at the show are not ones you're really seeing on the road. And that's, I think, a testament to the show. I think when you go to the Rolling Sculpture Car Show, a lot of those cars you never would see driving around. Like, you have to go somewhere like the Rolling Sculpture Car Show to see these cars and get up close to them.
I think that's true. I think it's true. Some of these cars you will see occasionally out on the road, and they're head turners. When you see them on the road, it's, oh, look at that.
But how often do you actually get that close to one and see the details and the interior? And
You don't.
Yeah.
You don't. One of the neat things about the show, of course, spectators should not touch the cars without the owner's permission, but a lot of owners are very, very amenable. Come sit in the car, touch it, look at it. Ask the owner first, but yeah, you can get up close and enjoy the vehicles.
If you or your kid wants to sit in Rosie, I'm more than happy to have them do that.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
We have another participant, Rick Mammal, who couldn't be here today, who has kind of a supercar that he allows kids to get in and crawl all over, and he's just fine with it. It's not the normal person displaying a car, is that attitude, but Rick is very welcoming of that, so that'll be there as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
When is this year's show?
Friday, July the 12th, 2 until 10 in the afternoon, and we have a lovely day for our little get-together here, and keeping our fingers crossed for similar weather then.
Knock on wood. Yeah, because I feel like in my experience, Rolling Sculpture is blessed with nice weather.
It has been.
Yes, but it's also
sometimes
like one of those things where like you can still kind of wander around even if it weren't that great. I mean, it's all day too. You got the
Yes.
whole day.
I think Rolling Sculpture is pure Ann Arbor. It's no other community could pull off something that's just a little quirky, but also just pure Ann Arbor, and that's what makes it special, I think.
Is registration still going on? Do you have to register your vehicles in advance this year?
Yes, you do. I believe registration closes the 14th, which
think that's
is
right, yeah.
3 days from now. So
My daughter's
Any-
birthday, yeah.
yeah, so we'll close registration off, and
That's it then? Whoever
That's it,
gets in at that point, so that's like the 300 plus cars.
yes, we have limited space, so we have to set some kind of limits on things.
And I know every year you guys do the awards. Did you want to mention anything about the awards this year?
Award ceremony is at 7 o'clock at the intersection of Main Street and Liberty. We do have a special treat this year for the 25th anniversary. There is going to be an a cappella group walking through the show singing various and sundry songs, some car songs, I think. And while it's not cast in stone yet, but there may be a special little moment during the awards ceremony at 7 o'clock, so stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you always can get, what is it, Surfer Joe out there?
Surfer Joe will be back spinning cartoons.
Yeah.
Yep. Go up, if you have a favorite tune, go up and ask Joe and he'll play it for you.
So there's all kinds of stuff to do. We're just about out of time, but why don't you tell people, you can each tell people why you think they should come to this year's Rolling Sculpture Car Show.
Well, personally, I agree with Mike. It's an Ann Arbor only thing. It's like so many of the events we have in downtown Ann Arbor. It's a little like the art fair, just not as big, not as long, and you don't have to spend any money.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really nice part about just going. It's free. You can get, I
Yep.
mean, you might want to get some food down there, and that's all you're really paying for. Other than that, you're getting a lot
Exactly.
of eye candy.
And there, as you said, there's a long expanse of time, so you can come by right after work, you can go home and have dinner and come after dinner, you can have dinner down at the show, so it's very flexible.
Mike?
I think the focus on the word sculpture. If you're not a car person, you still can appreciate sculpture and art, and so many of the cars are amazing pieces of sculpture that have endured over time. Some of them are relatively new, but they're all sculpture, and it's a nice art project.
Ben?
Given that this is the 25th anniversary, I'd like to mention Bob Elton, who was the founder of the show.
Yeah.
He is the one who coined the term rolling sculpture car show. He's an automotive designer, and he appreciates the sculptural elements of automotive design. And thanks to Bob for starting it, and thanks to him for thinking that I was good enough to carry the baton.
That's great. Well, thank you all for coming on the show. Thanks for bringing Rosie.
Thanks for having us.
For more on this and other programs, visit a2gov.org/CTN. Visit youtube.com/CTN Ann Arbor to see all that we have to offer. And remember to like, comment, and share. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time to FYI.